because it's doing something now.
It's saying live on Facebook.
Meeting is now streaming live on FBook.
Yeah, that's what it says.
So,
Oh shit! Look at that, we're live. All right.
We're live.
Yeah, what was weird is they had the go live button was muted, like it wasn't blue, like it was a muted color, like it wasn't like a link. All right, anyone wanna? I'm gonna go on the Facebook page and see if this actually works.
yeah, so you can go
Live on yours, Matt. I see it.
Yeah, you can go. Yeah, you can share it now publicly.
Like we can each individually do it too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Technology.
So you just hit the share button.
Look at that. It works. Shouldn't we be able to see shouldn't there be like a panel where we can see people like asking questions and stuff? Or no?
I think that's
Yeah.
YouTube.
So Cam, yeah, there can be, but somebody has to be on the actual Facebook page, I think, to actually like moderate the comments.
Oh. Gotcha. Man, I should have called you to get my oh yeah, I can okay.
Now.
Oh, here we go. I got it.
Like we can each individually do it too.
Yeah, so if you I just clicked on it, now I have a dashboard on my computer. Man, I should have called you to get my
Oh boy.
oh yeah, I can
feedback.
now. Oh, here we go. I got it.
Like we can each individually do it too.
Yeah, so if I just clicked on it, now I have a dashboard on my computer. Man, I should have called you to get my
Oh boy.
oh yeah, but now it's echoing. Oh, here we go. I got it.
Got it.
Like we can each individually do it too.
Can't hear you, Matt.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now it's echoing. Oh, here we go. I got it.
Got it.
There's some serious feedback going on right now.
Yeah.
So
I don't think you can be on
Can't hear you,
both.
Matt.
can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if I'm on both of those pages, I don't know if you guys noticed that it's echoing pretty bad.
Yeah, you can shut off the audio to whatever the video is on there, so you can not get the feedback.
Oh, okay. So let's try this. Try one more time. Boom. Done. Matt, now I know there's a reason that I had you on this call.
Oh yeah, you're audio visual dork. Yeah.
Yeah, we got a couple of minutes. We'll wait a few minutes and hopefully get some people on.
All right. So while we're waiting for that, do we have anybody with a fun fact?
Fun fact.
It's a
Matt,
good icebreaker.
do you?
No, man, I'm the know-it-all. I
have a fun fact.
I'm sick of playing this position.
You don't have to be on payroll to get the SBA loan, which I thought you did. So you can still get, I talked to you about this earlier, but that's a fun fact. And you can amend your taxes to get a refund going back to 2018.
That's not fun. That's
Fun fact.
That's business oriented. That's
My
boring.
dog
That's
is
boring as
under
hell.
my desk.
My wife's under mine.
No wonder you're smiling.
Marty, that's why you're on this call. No, I'm just kidding. You're on the call for more than that.
I shouldn't be.
You know, I questioned it after I asked you. Mike said, when are you guys going to start singing? Yeah, not happening, Mike.
We're gonna do TikToks. We're all gonna start TikToking.
Poker Face is a fun app to do with your friends. If you can't, hang out, you can play Poker Face online, which is like a FaceTime poker game. It's sweet.
Good to know.
I've never played poker. Maybe once.
Texas Hold'em, come on.
Not a gambler, man. Not a gambler.
That's fair.
So if you guys haven't shared this yet, I would just share it to your personal page.
So how do you do that? Can you give me a rundown here? First time Zoom time.
Yeah, if you just open it up in Facebook and mute it.
Oh, like open it up in, okay.
Yeah. You can just click share. All right, guys. So it is 4:00 on the dot. I don't like to be late. I have another call to get on tonight. So, all right, for those of you guys who are on the call, thanks for joining. We appreciate you just giving us your ear tonight. Anna, how's it going? Mike, thanks for joining. Kia, you're awesome. Thanks for supporting. And Cam, how's it going, Cam? So before we get started, I thought it'd be a good idea for everyone on the panel to introduce themselves. So we're going to play Ring Around the Rosie. Let's start with Chris. We'll go to Chris, Marty, Harold, and then Matt. Matt can finish us off.
Yeah.
So Chris, who are you? What do you do?
Chris Lawrence, real estate investor, flip houses, have rental properties, mainly right in Rochester. So
Martin. I like calling you Martin. I don't know why.
Martin Grisani, single family investor, rentals, wholesale, flip, kind of do it all.
Okay, Harold Bain, part-time investor, employee still, and we buy and hold single-family houses.
Save the best for last, Matt, just so you know.
My name is Matt Drew, and I'm a partner at Oak Grove Development, specialized in buying historic properties and either repositioning them or reactivating them altogether, mostly in the southeast city of Rochester, but we've also established a foothold in the Susan B. Anthony neighborhood.
Awesome.
you're live on Facebook.
It looks like we got like
Get your elevator pitch together, Chris.
All right, cool. Looks like this is my first time using live, you guys, so bear with us. But it looks like we have about 26 people on here right now. So if we're talking and you guys have any questions, just leave some comments and I'll go through the comments while we're on the call. And I want this call to basically be an open forum. So if we're talking and you want to interject with a question, feel free to do that. That's why we are on this call. The goal here, guys, is to work together to try to figure out what we're all doing. We got a bunch of people joining on. What's going on, guys? So if anyone is interested in doing more calls like this in the future, leave us some feedback. I'm sure any one of us who are on this call would be willing to do that at some point. But I think we're all going to need some support going forward, and this is one of the best places we can do it is via these social apps like Zoom. All right, you guys, so we're gonna get rolling here. So the first question that I wanted to discuss, guys, is number one. Well, I'm just gonna lead in with a little bit of preparation. Now, if it wasn't for outside sources, you guys know I do some traveling. I'm in a mastermind, but Cody, if you guys know Cody Schmidt, he had been warning everyone over a year, I believe, that something like this was going to happen. So indirectly from influencers around me and seeing how they operate their businesses, I had been leaning out my business for over a year. What I mean by leaning out is just removing certain expenses and not trying to do more, but be better at what I was already doing. So trying to be more efficient, not going out there and pursuing new leads, but being efficient with the data and the leads that I currently have, and building out systems to allow me to do more with less, if that makes sense. So that was a huge blessing, because I have, like Matt was just talking, he has about 12 months of salary set aside. I have probably a little, 12 to 18 months of money set aside that I don't want to tap into. And one of the things that we're going to be talking about are some the discussion on some of the possibility of the loans and that are going to be available to small business owners. So anyone who wants to go next, I mean, is this something that I think we are all aware that something like this was going to happen, but how were you able to prepare for this, or what did you do and didn't do? It's like there's no right or wrong answer here.
I think I disagree completely. I don't think this is precedented at all. I mean, yeah, we thought there might be a dip, but this is completely insane. I mean, there's never been anything like this in the history of the United States, I would imagine, where nobody can work, even if they wanted to. So I think, people have bought, I think there's a lot of people who've probably bought correctly with cash flow coming in day one. And if you buy that way, you'll be always fine. But even doing that right now doesn't stop you from what this virus has done to a lot of people's portfolios. So while I agree, yeah, there's probably going to be a dip, but this is completely out of nowhere. And it's going to hurt a lot of people who probably have bigger, portfolios than just me, than me and people in this group.
Thanks, Marty. Awesome perspective.
Yeah, for me, it was, just buying the rentals, like you said, Marty, make sure it cash flows and, having reserves and all that. But like, if this lasts for 3, 6, 7, 8 months, no one's built for that, in my opinion. It's like, it's affecting everyone. And for me, it's like for rentals, it's like, have a good cash reserve. I have a line of credit if it gets that bad. And then for flipping, it's just like, I'm buying deals now that, worst case scenario, I can turn around and stick a tenant in it when it gets around, because I still want to buy good deals for flipping,
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I'd say the same thing, that we kind of got caught with our pants down. We weren't really expecting, certain things can happen, but nothing like this. We weren't expecting this at all. But with proper personal money management, we were able to, I think we'll be fine. Of course, I was thinking maybe 6 months. If it goes longer than that, I think we're gonna have more problems than just money. So
yeah, that's exactly why we're on this call today, and maybe doing more in the future. So yeah, man. Matt, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I kind of agree with some of the things that you said, and what Marty said is that we knew there was some type of black swan coming as an event that was going to serve as an economic correction that was long needed. We were 11 to 12 years in an economic recovery and expansion. And there was, and all of the leading indicators that we associate with a recession coming up, besides like an inverted yield curve, everything was pointing to more growth, even, although slower, but more growth. So this is definitely something that is like, this is like a once in a lifetime event. And I think that it's definitely going to be, we're just seeing the tip of the iceberg as it comes to what we're going to see over the next 6 to 12 months. I mean, I definitely predict a, Great Depression 2.0. So we definitely need to be prepared for that. Those of us that own residential rentals, I think that this is not the first stimulus package we're going to see. We're going to see another second stimulus package, round 2, that's going to bolster up the unemployment benefit system. So, which is going to be hurtful over the long term, but it will get us out of this, and we're going to be protected in terms of people being able to pay their rent once those unemployment benefits kick in. So just keep that in mind. But it's also going to be opportunities are going to be out there that we've been waiting for.
Yeah, this is kind of like, from my understanding, it's play by play, like every day, something, all the legislation, things are changing. So this is exactly why it's important for everyone locally to stay connected, just to stay up to date what people are doing, and not only trying to figure out how we can, I mean, the last thing, like I hate having a conversation of how we can take advantage, but how do we use this to take one step forward and to help people. I think that needs to be a focus. It's not about making money? Will there be opportunities to make money? Of course there will be, but like, I mean, considering everything that's happening, I think helping people first should become a priority. And in doing that, those opportunities are going to present themselves. So one of the things, Harold, I wanted to ask you a question. Someone told me this when I first started getting interested in real estate, but as a financial advisor, like when someone is starting a business, what's like one of the first things that they'll tell you to do? Just like a rule of thumb in finance. Maybe I might not even be asking this the right way, but Matt, you said it.
What I would suggest, you're saying?
Yeah, like if you're preparing to get into business, what is one thing that you could do to protect yourself moving forward as a small business owner?
First, your personal money management skills have to be on par. I would say, me personally, I would try to get people to eliminate consumer debt. That's first off. If you can do that, and same thing, we talked about 6 months of savings and reserves, something like that will, protect you and, from the risk of certain things happening in starting a business. But I would definitely say have at least 6 months of capital set aside. And that way, when something goes wrong, it's not if, it's when, you'll be in a better position to handle it and ride this wave.
Yeah, no, that's exactly, looks like we lost Marty. But that's exactly what the point I wanted to make. And Matt, you said everyone on this call seems to have reserves. So I'm happy to hear that. But it took me most of my career to see the importance of that. And for anyone on this call now who is interested in getting started in real estate or in business in general, I think you should use this what's happening now as an experience to to understand how important it is to set aside 6 to 12 months of your finances and take a money management course. Because I can tell you from experience that I'm a great visionary. I like, I'm not the best business owner. So I have people who help me operate my business and my finances. But it took me a long time to really look at where my money's going and manage that stuff. So you can spend it as fast as it comes in.
Absolutely.
Anyone want to touch base on anything as far as like setting aside 6 to 12 months of income, what anyone can do? Because let's be honest, guys, something like this could happen in the future. So what in preparation for maybe something like this again, like how can we be prepared financially?
Yeah, just have a good saving, just what Harold was talking about, kind of cut out the consumer debt, save. It's like, I feel I don't really feel the anxiety of this coronavirus because it's like, I think we have 13 months of savings. Like if we didn't make any money, like we're good. Like obviously if it goes on for a year, then there's problems, but like, I don't feel anxious. Like I'm like, okay, how can we get through this? How can we help out our tenants, and work through this, work with your tenants. And yeah, I think it comes back to educating yourself. We have a lot of downtime. Read some podcasts, read some books. It's been done before. Don't try to recreate it. Educate yourself.
Matt, on your live call, you mentioned something. So I think like on a national consensus, I've been talking to people all over the country, and like the first thing that they said was like get lean. So Matt, what does that mean to you to get lean?
It's really easy to get lean now because you can't go out anywhere. You can't, you can't spend money at the bar. So getting lean though is, I think it's what's helpful for me is to print out a bank statements, credit card statements, going line by line through that and highlighting it one by one as to what's completely discretionary expenses. Okay. Because I'm a reasonably frugal person, but there's still shit I waste money on. There just is. But that's how you get lean. And then also thinking of ways to be more efficient at what you are spending money on that is not discretionary. What can you do to have better buying power? What you can do to substitute products that are less expensive. So that's what getting lean means to me.
If any of you guys have read, I'll get to you in a second, Chris, like read the book Profit First. I think one of the things that they do in that book is they create bank accounts for vacation, salary. So Martin, your phone just signed. So what I did in my business is I just set up an S corp so I can put myself on payroll, but I have my 12 months of salary set aside in a separate account, and that account will make a contribution to my S corp that'll pay me on payroll. What that does is that allows me to, I'm not commingling my salary with my business income and my personal income, and watching that money go out every month is going to help me with my budgeting going forward and being able to track my expenses, because that money is in its own separate account.
Yeah, in regards to budgeting, I have it's a Mint. It's called Mint. It's an application you can use on your phone to track your expenses, and every month I'll go through it. You can set parameters like how much you want to spend, and like in regards to my wife and I, we'll set aside X amount of money for spending, like whatever we want to spend it on. It's called $1,000, and it's like you have $1,000 April 1 all the way to the end, and however you spend it, because you have to spend your money, but also if you track it and you keep an eye on it, and if it's, man, you spent, you went over on groceries, or you went over on, gas or whatever, you can just kind of keep an eye on it, and what you track, you manage. So
That's
is important. Creating a spending plan is what's really going to help people. You're saying getting lean. A lot of times when we are focused on, and we can actually look at our spending plan or a budget, it definitely helps us to cut away things that we don't need. But you have to have it in writing so that you can see what's going on. If you're doing it in your head, I tell this to people a lot, if you're doing it in your head, you're already in trouble. So you want to get it on paper, start looking at what you're spending as a family month to month. Me and my wife, we set ours up for a whole year in advance.
Wow.
So we have a plan, going forward. So, yeah, you definitely want to use this time that people have. They're sitting in the house, you're sitting around anyway. Why not create a spending plan for the next few months or a year even?
That's a great point, Harold. And if, for all the you guys on the call listening to this, you might be wondering what the hell does this have to do with real estate? The truth is, I will tell you from experience, and I'm not bragging, a lot of people on this call make more money than I do, but it's easy to figure out how to make money. It's not easy to become wealthy. And the truth is, you don't even need to make a lot of money to become wealthy. You can make 50, 60 grand a year and be a millionaire. It's just living within a budget, setting a budget for yourself, and living. It's when you make more money, you're not spending more money. You're making 100 grand, 150 grand a year. Most families can live off of 80 to 90 grand a year or less. And how do I know that's possible? Because I know people doing it with 4 to 5 kids. They're living on under 100 grand a year. So they choose to live on more, but they have a budget. I'm not going to name any names, but I know someone who's living off 75 grand a year with 2 or 3 kids. And they travel all the time and live a nice life and go in their RV. So it can be, it's possible, you guys. It's just whether or not you're willing to make the sacrifices now. And the truth is, I'm not sure if a lot of people want to cut those short-term pleasures off for the long-term gain. So we're going to move on here, guys. I appreciate the feedback. So we're going to kind of get into some nitty-gritty, so how have any of you guys been impacted so far, or have you been impacted yet, or how are you planning for that? What have you done in anticipation for tenants to possibly not pay rent?
Yeah, I'll go. So right when all this kind of happened, I reached out to my tenants, just, made sure first and foremost they were safe, healthy, everything was all right. And then hey, you guys are good tenants. If anything looks a little different, let's talk about it. And, 'cause you can't, you never want to evict anyone, but you can't even do it now. So it's just talk about it, have a conversation. You guys are good tenants. We're all going through it. Last thing you want to do is try to, upset a tenant or kick them out, and just work with it. And thankfully all my tenants, paid early. So that's good. But, that might look a little different next month. You don't really know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you got to be stern, right? So you got to be, first off, like Chris said, you want to tell them, hey, we're still here to fix things if things go wrong. And obviously we want you to be safe. We want all those things, still to be, hey, we care about you. But at the end of the day, if you've enjoyed us as a housing provider, right, and we're doing everything that we've always been doing, there shouldn't be any stop of payment. We're still doing our job. So we expect you to continue to pay, especially if you've enjoyed how we've been treating you as a tenant.
Yeah, has anyone here listened to the Brandon Turner video?
Yes.
I mean, that was a great video. I used, if any of you guys are wondering, I think I shared it on my Facebook page. I also shared the letter that I created. But just communicating expectations with your tenants, knowing that, hey, like, we're not expecting everyone to pay. What can you pay, and how can we work this out together? Does anyone have any feedback on conversations they may have had with tenants? Matt?
Yeah.
I'll
What,
say- oh, go ahead.
Chris, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say one of my tenants, like they're a great tenant, never been late. You know, she's a phlebotomist, and she actually drew blood from someone that tested positive for coronavirus. So she was quarantined for 14 days. So I just made out a payment plan with her, just do half, the first, and then the half at the end. And she's like, okay, that works, and that's kind of conversations the other tenants have paid. So yeah, you can't fault her for that. If you're quarantined in the house, you can't work. And
Yeah. The truth is that getting mad that someone didn't pay isn't going to do anything. So it's, if you want to get any type of money, you have to be willing to be patient and work with that person and say, hey, like, if you can pay $20, like, make an effort to do something. Otherwise, if there's no effort, then at some point we will have to evict you. And, and if you want a place to continue to live, like, we may lose the home if we can't pay our taxes and keep up to date on our payments. You might have to move out anyways. So it's just communicating what the fallout of what happens when people aren't paying rent. So does anyone else want to talk about anything further on the discussion with tenants at all?
Well, I think it comes to say, this is a benefit of having Section 8. I have Section 8 tenants, and I know that I'm going to get paid on the 3rd. So that's a nice little, that's a nice add-on that, hey, I'm not going to worry too much. My portfolio, 75% of it is Section 8. So I'm going to be okay. And, that's, if you haven't thought about Section 8 because of whatever reason, it might be something that, and I've talked to other investors that are not on this call, but they're saying, yeah, we're focusing more and going to be heavily looking at Section 8.
Mhm.
That's a great point, Marty. Someone just asked a question. Is anyone waiving late fees? I think you'd be extremely insensitive to not waive any late fees. I mean, you can't expect anyone to pay late fees if they're already struggling to pay their rent.
Yeah, no late fees. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Although Druin, I heard he might be doing something different.
Yeah, I'm a heartless bastard. I mean, come on, man. No, I mean, we're definitely, the tenants that have proactively reached out to us that are having issues, we're working with them. And I think that, late fees they're not collectible during an eviction process anyways. And I think that they're prohibited from being charged in the first place with the moratorium, the eviction moratorium, if I'm not mistaken. So I mean, it's like, we're small business owners. The advantage that we have is that we can be compassionate, understanding, and have humanity in what we do. So I think that's, that's also good about having a solid foundation to build your business upon. With having adequate cash reserves is that you don't have to operate from survival mode. From survival mode, when you're operating from the lizard brain, that lower base stem type of thinking, you make stupid decisions. You also act emotionally insensitive as well when you're in survival mode. So, and your tenants are gonna understand this and remember how you made them feel during this process when they were fearful.
So how many of you guys on this call think this is an amazing opportunity for small business owners like ourselves to make an impact on some of the new legislation being passed for rent control and all these other different things that are stripping homeowners of our rights? It's like we have an opportunity to show them how compassionate we are to be able to work with our tenants through these times. So I think there's always an opportunity in times like this. So that's something that I've considered, is to be careful how I respond to tenants, be empathetic, and just be willing to work with them no matter what. And truth is, like, we'll have to figure out what happens next, but it's better to put your best foot forward instead of just trying to extract rent from people because you need to pay your bills. That's what these calls are for. Like, we're here to support each other. The government is like, I'm not sure if that's a topic we're going to fully dive into, but I can share a link with a call I'm going to be on tonight that's going to go thoroughly in depth with the small business loans and modification, tax modifications to recoup some money for business owners like ourselves. So I have a question for you guys. Has anyone here actually called their banks and deferred any loans? And if so, like, what did that process look like? Is this something you're considering or are planning to do? And I think it's good to get feedback of how banks have reacted so far.
Very
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
So
Go ahead, Chris.
Go ahead. Okay. Yeah. So I have a good relationship with my bank and, do it all through CNB. So shout out to CNB Bank. Just reached out, we never had late payments. We just said, hey, we want to defer this just because we don't, like, for all my personal stuff and all my business stuff, if there's no penalty. And, I was like, shoot, I'm going to defer it just because, you don't want to be in a crunch for cash flow. And, just reaching out, having a good rapport with them. And they said, yep, no problem, fill out some forms and, then the bank's just taking it from there. So it was pretty quick and painless.
Yeah. Marty, did you have a follow-up on that?
Same with Chris. I have CNB, and it was easy as a phone call. And we have multiple loans with them. And, I was a little worried because I saw some stuff on Facebook that said, after the 4 months, it was going to be one lump sum that you owed, which makes no sense. And they said, nope, it just goes tax right on the back of the loan. And you're, it's made for moments like this, right? I mean, this is just insanity that's happened to us, and that's happened to our tenants. And, they get it, or they were forced to get it, whatever it was. And it's been a blessing so far anyways.
Yeah, so I have bank with CNB, and I know Matt does. I don't know if Harold does either, but that was probably one of the easiest things I've ever done.
Yeah.
And that, like, CNB is I've been banking with them since I started my business, but from my experience, they've created a loan product for me. They're always willing to go above and beyond. So if anyone's interested in trying to figure out who they want to bank with, if they have a small business, you can tell all of us use CNB here as a business owner, getting a business line of credit. They made a car loan for me that I wanted. I was like, this is what I want. They did it for me. And then the deferments were just a simple phone call, and it was that easy.
I bank with CNB, but I don't have any mortgages with them yet. I'm still with Chase. I was planning for the future to use them, but I've heard great things from you guys about them, so that's why we bank with them, but no loans yet, anything like that. But I'm
Awesome.
still thinking positive. I'm still paying, our mortgages, stuff like that. I'm thinking this is going to be done by the middle of April, so we're good anyway.
So Anna asked a discount. Anna, thanks for the question. With thoughts on discounting rent for people who pay on time. I think anything you can do to get creative to get people to pay on time, I would try to do it. Say, hey guys, anyone who's willing to pay on time from now until the end of the year, I'll give a free month of rent, or I'll take off. If you just get creative of what that looks like. So yeah, if you can get creative with your tenants, I'd say try everything you can. But with the expectations are that you may not get paid, and that needs to be okay mentally, or you're going to drive yourself mad. And you need to figure out plan A, B, and C, and D along the way. So yeah, the deferment, that's one of the things I was talking about. As far as making changes to your business, guys, what were some immediate changes that you decided to implement? That could be systems, it could be how you collect rent. It could be Marty. It could be marketing. Matt, it could be looking at developments differently. Like what have you guys implemented all around in your businesses as soon as we realized this wasn't going to be a short-term event?
Yeah. For me, for rentals, nothing really. I'm very diligent with just like setting aside my savings every month. So that's going to continue as long as the rent comes in. And for flipping, it's just buying the first time home buyers. And then also if I buy something, it's got to make sense as a rental unit. Like it's got a cash flow if I can't get rid of it.
So I'm gonna hammer home one of the things that I'm seeing across the board nationally right now is that bank appraisals are being extremely conservative, even with comps in the neighborhood to show those higher values. So that's one thing I wanted to talk about, but I just wanted to bring up that topic because I think as like if we're buying and selling homes still, we can't expect that, in Northwind Village, I can get 140 for this home now. How are we looking at these homes? Because if I'm flipping a home, 5 or 6 months ago, I'm going to list it at 140, not now. But what is your price? Where is your price point? Because you don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, like if you still look at like comps from 6 months or whatever, like now it's like comp in a week, 2 weeks of what's sold. That's the new comp in my opinion. And yeah, who really knows, but like I looked at back from like 2008 all the way till now, and it didn't really affect Rochester in terms of, it was kind of always just very steady. But yeah, you wanted to be very conservative. So I'm at least 10 to 15% lower, and having a margin in there. So if you can't sell it, you can lower it or hold it.
Yeah. Anyone else have any? I mean, I'd love to hear what, I know, Matt, you're probably the most units out of all of us here. Like, what have you changed?
We've tabled major like elective capital improvements for the year just to see how this thing shakes out. We don't want to be expensing cash into because we typically take our cash flow and reinvest it back into properties. We reinvest it back into growing through more acquisitions. So that's one thing that we've made as an immediate change is pushing those off to maybe next year. But besides that, operationally, we haven't really changed much. I mean, we sent out an email to all of our tenants regarding maintenance that during this crisis, we're still going to be maintaining the properties through service requests, although, emergency service requests will definitely be taken care of. Stuff that's like if somebody breaks their towel bar off their bathroom, we're not going to send a maintenance person in harm's way and also putting that tenant in harm's way due to a towel bar being broken off the wall. Besides, like who breaks their own towel bar off?
Matt, you need to be there that day for a towel bar.
No, but I'm saying it's like, you drop, you're like, oh, my blinds are broken. Dude, I've had the same mini blinds for like 10 years. Not one is broken. Like these things, it looks like a freaking Wolverine
how many of you guys get the tenant who's always knocking the plumbing underneath the sink, knocking the plumbing out once and says the plumbing's broken and they're just shoving shit under there and the pipes are coming loose. I have a tenant who does that like every 3 months and she yells at me that we don't know what we're doing.
You got left-handed threads on your pipes.
Oh God. Marty, you've been doing a lot of marketing this past year. That's why I wanted you on this call. But what have you changed or what have you implemented in your business to keep generating leads, but also being cautious that money might not be coming in, their money might not be there to fund that marketing 6 months from now? Like, what are you doing?
We're ramping it up. To be honest with you, we just hired a coach to help us with some of the new creative strategies that are going to be, coming down our line with subject to and seller financing, which is really going to be all over the place, we think. So we're not stopping that part because what I believe is right now, what I want is, let's say we are in a funk for the next 3-4 years. Well, these are when I want to start accumulating rentals so that when we get to the top, that's when we're selling. So that's what we're looking for, and that's what we're going to be doing. In regards to rentals, we're going strictly Section 8, or we're going to be dealing with agencies. I mean, obviously we buy in low-income areas. So, but even not, I think there's going to be a big. I think there's a need for it, and I'm kind of going all in on this. So I there's not a lot going other than just hoping our tenants are safe and that all that, but we're just going to keep pushing for more.
That's awesome, Marty. I think one of the things I want to touch on is that, like, had you, so like, I know you're a pretty frugal person. Like, you're not out there, you're living in an extravagant home or have like a super nice car, but like,
I don't have a house.
That's right. Marty doesn't even have a home. But my point is, like, if you weren't good at managing your money and where going in and out, you wouldn't be in a position to reinvest at the most opportune time. And I think that's something important to take note of, right? It's because I'm increasing my marketing too. I'm doing things a little bit differently to save on money, but I'm reaching more people weekly than I ever have. And I'm a lot of that time I'm investing personally, and I have someone helping me now, but I'm going all in. And I think, again, just touching back on like how I think we need to be focused on how we can help people, not the dollar signs that we can make, because if we're just in this to make money, we're going to make some bad decisions. And you can agree with me or you can disagree with me on that, but we can help a lot of people and do very, very well. So I think that's something important to keep in mind. I'll keep stressing that. Thanks for sharing, Marty. Anyone else want to talk about how they're, Chris, I know Chris is wholesaling. He's doing PPC and some other marketing. What do you guys do for marketing?
Yeah. Doing, Google pay-per-click, doing, texting, relationship networking. Obviously now networking is virtual, but yeah, just reaching out to a lot of people and kind of ramping up, because there will be not opportunities, but there's going to be people that are going to be begging and looking for cash buyers to help them out of a situation, and it can be a win-win situation. Like we're selling one in Greece. The guy, we got a deal 50 cents on the dollar, and he was so thankful to get out from underneath it. He was going to lose the tax foreclosure, so he kind of walked away from it, got received money. We got a good deal. And then now we are selling a house to a first-time homeowner. Like, there's no better feeling than rehabbing a house really nice and selling it to someone that's like super grateful and loves the house. So like, yeah, it doesn't have to be a lose-win or win-lose, like creating win-wins all the way down the line for everyone involved.
Yeah, that's huge. I mean, I think sometimes investors can get a bad name for like taking advantage of people. But like last week, I was able to buy a home, and the woman actually was scheduled for auction, and we bought it, 5 days before it was supposed to go up for auction. That auction was terminated, but we're going to put, she's going to get 20 grand, and that's 20 more grand than she would have walked away with nothing. And
is that Gray Street?
No, but I'm closing on that one soon, Marty.
You took that burden off her, that weight off her shoulders.
Yeah.
And
Yep. Yeah. I mean, she had back taxes going back to 2015. She's going to get, she's going to come out of debt and come away with some cash in her pocket.
And avoid a foreclosure.
Yeah, exactly. I can share with you guys what I'm doing. So I have some strategic partnerships where I'm giving up 20% of my net on all my deals. So I have 3 strategic partners now who are all doing things that I'm horrible at, and that's data management processes, things like that. We're toning back our marketing, so a lot of time involved. So we're cold calling people. That's free. We're not paying ourselves. So, if you're looking to get started right now and you don't have a large budget, door knocking, driving for dollars, cold calling, you can get someone's contact for 12 cents through multiple skip tracing services. But like both Marty and Chris said, there are people who need help. They need help so bad they're not even willing to admit it sometimes, and I have to literally like force them to admit they need help, because they'll say, I'll ask them, do you have a home to sell? Yes. Are you in pain? Yes. Do you want to sell? Yes. And then they give you 10 excuses why they can't sell. And those are the people that I think Chris and Marty and I are really good working with, holding their hands through that process. So I'm kind of rambling now. But I think we have some newer investors or people who are interested in investing, and I think those things are important to discuss. So putting our best foot forward, guys, like how are all of you? We're probably going to touch on some similar topics, but like, how are you all putting your best foot forward now? Like, what does business look like 5 months, 6 months, 12 months from now? Like, what are some of the things that you're focusing on in your business to come out of this better than we went into it?
Yeah, I'm just focusing on learning podcasts, books. In terms of preparing for, it's just hard we don't know what 5 to 6 months looks like, but just trying to learn, push forward, still try to do deals as you can, and keep growing. And this thing will pass. It'll pass.
Matt, you're quiet today.
Oh, go ahead.
No. I think, well, Matt already started this 6 or 12 months ago with positioning himself as a leader in the community over at King Street. So do you have any plans? We're continued education. You're educating people on the neighborhood, how you're investing and how that's impacting the community. Those are things that I think, as established businesses, you can take this as an opportunity to become a leader and actually stand out opposed to other businesses who are just really doing nothing. So Matt, do you have any plans? Are you working on anything in the future to get people involved and to come together?
There's a multitude of different things we're doing. Once the restrictions get lifted, we definitely want to utilize our newest acquisition at 9 Canal Street to have pop-up events there. It's an amazing building. It's a great location. It's a neighborhood that we're looking to grow our footprint in. So that's one part of our plans over the next 12 months, is to reactivate that building and get the community not only going to King Street, but also going to Canal Street for more events that promote arts and culture. So that's one side of the token. Also, we're going to be, we've made a lot of offers to owners of who are frankly slumlords of larger multifamily commercial buildings that we were interested in. They turned those offers down over the past months and years. So we're going to be reapproaching those people during this crisis to take another bat at those opportunities as well, because I think that people, we've reached an inflection point. And so, yes, I don't think I'm not ashamed of saying that I'm going to take advantage of opportunity, especially when it comes to helping tenants and also improving our communities. So I think that this provides an opportunity for that. So we're going to definitely be going hard after commercial multifamily opportunities that we've already gotten in front of. Those are the couple of things we'll be focusing on.
That's awesome, Matt. And I think you guys should take note of how he said that. He said he's going to take advantage of opportunities in being mindful that he's helping people along the way. So Matt is going out. Matt is building a business. He's buying these units, but there's a vision and a reason. There's a why behind that pushes him to do that. It's not all about the money for Matt. I think that's important. Important thing to consider when you're doing business. So why are you doing it? So if you have a powerful why behind it like that, it's going to make more of an impact on your life, but also the community is going to rally you around you as well, which I think is awesome. And if you didn't know, Matt's been holding different events over on his building on King Street.
Buy Back the Rock, Harold Bain and I.
Yeah, Buy Back the Rock. Harold, do you want to tell us about your finance classes that you hold?
Yeah, so we also, besides Buy Back the Rock events that we have once a month with Matt, another thing that we do is we host the Dave Ramsey program called Financial Peace University. It's a 9-week course. We're planning on doing it maybe a couple times a year, but maybe we'll try to fit in maybe about 3 times. So we'll promote that and try to get people to sign up for the materials. About $100, maybe less. But we don't charge anything to do it, but we know how important it is for people to learn to become financially literate just before, for these kind of situations. Even if this didn't happen, it's still important. We need to start looking at our home and our personal finances as, kind of like running a business. And, when these things come up, it wouldn't be, it's an inconvenience instead of an emergency. Hopefully this doesn't last long. I'm still optimistic that it's only going to take about 2-3 weeks. But
in the matrix, dude.
But so our contribution is to show people how to handle their finances wisely. Most of the time, most people don't even have a budget. Most people don't have a savings, let alone a savings plan for the year. things like that. And that you can do this without, just, you can still live a life that is enjoyable and still maintain and do things that you ought to do with your money. I mean, it's important. And people are seeing that right now. And I think people are more open now to hear it or to listen now because of what's going on. So we're definitely going to be pushing that more. Same thing through our social media, at FIAP on Instagram, stuff like that.
Dude, that's a great point. I think that one of the best lessons I learned last year is the fastest way to make more money is to put it back in your pocket. And I think as business owners, like we think that the fastest way to make more money is to go try to make more money. And that's not the fastest way to make more money. And it goes much deeper than that. Michael Benetti, Matt, you were talking about writing offers. He said no means not yet, which that's a great point. One of the things that my friend Christina mentioned that if you've written offers on properties or you have a bunch of leads, go back through those and submit offers to all those properties. So if you guys have been hammering leads or working leads, just mail out all your offers. I think that's a great way to get those conversations and those deals, light some fire under those deals. And it's not wrong to use, I've been having this conversation with people, but it's not wrong to be transparent. Every person I'm talking to, I have like a disclosure before I even get into what I'm doing. I'm saying, hey, I don't know what's happening now. I don't know what's going to happen now, but odds are I can't pay anywhere near what I could have paid for your home months earlier. I just want you to know that I'm in this for a profit. I need to make money. I have bills to pay. We force equity through repairs. If that's something you're interested, like, let's talk about it more. If not, I don't want to waste your time, but just being completely transparent in conversation with anyone's home you're interested in buying. And that seems to work for me. People appreciate that honesty and it usually opens up the door more often.
Yeah. I mean, we're not here. I mean, yeah, we're here to help them, but we're here to make a profit first. Right. And if we have, you want to help people and you want to profit, and that's kind of how it should be first, right? Helping people and then profiting. Even if when you're helping somebody, it might not always put money in your pocket. You should always do that first, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's a good point, Brett. You should tell them straight up, listen, I'm obviously here to make a profit and put money on, put food on my table, but I'm also here to solve a problem that you might have.
Yeah. And we can't buy homes and take a loss right now. We don't know we don't even know what ARV is anymore right now. We can assume, but I'm saying look, I know what this house is worth a few months ago. I don't know what it's worth when I finish it and list it 3 months from now. So
right.
So the truth is, I'm not going to pay you as much as I would have been able to. So just having that conversation, saying, you can wait it out, or we can give you peace of mind now. And unfortunately, it's not what it was before. So.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, man. Anyone have any? I think this has been awesome so far. I guess it might be a good opportunity to just open up to questions. Any of you guys on the call right now? Do you have any questions that you want to ask any of these guys on the panel? We'll just give this a few moments. And you guys have a good singing voice, so you can just.
I want to ask Chris how he found his. He just got a contract. He got a house under contract. I think it was the East Rochester, Chris.
No, HFL.
Oh wow, you're really stretching. Talk to me about it.
It's a hometown. You gotta throw it up for the hometown.
Oh, all right, fair enough.
It was just making relationships with a real estate agent. I put an offer in back in February, and we were the third in line. The 2 buyers fell out, and we're still able to buy, and it made sense for us. So we're getting a property 50 cents in the dollar, and we already have it sold. So we'll fix it up and then sell it. So.
Dude, love it.
Yeah.
Harold, you were about to say something earlier, I thought, and then I don't know, you had something you were going to say about something.
I can't remember, but I'm sure it was. I also wanted to say too, though, that we are definitely looking for opportunities as well. I mean, we want to help people, like everybody said, but we're definitely looking for opportunities, man. I'm thinking probably around about, end of summer, fall, a lot of this is going to hit, and there'll be a lot of buying opportunities for the real estate market.
Yeah, the truth is, as business owners, we'd be stupid to not buy a great deal now. But if you have the opportunity to help someone, the truth is being patient now is gonna lend the best results. So I'm not taking on any deals unless I know I'm covered on every end. And even if I need to close on that property, I could pay the interest on that loan for a year and still come out on top. So that's my worst case scenario, that I have some properties, not sure how to get rid of them. I'll have no problem paying interest on those for the year. So that's kind of how I'm looking at some deals. So someone mentioned, would you go back and negotiate pending contracts? Anyone want to answer that question?
I would say hell no. I'm not a retrader. So no, I'm old fashioned. You know, the thing is that when I shake somebody's hand and make an agreement, I stick to that agreement no matter what the circumstances are. That may be stupid of me in some instances, but it's just something that I've just stuck with. I mean, we were talking about deferral arrangements with banks, that sort of thing. Now, I signed those loan documents, that mortgage document, you know, no matter what, whether the shit hits the fan or not. So I'm not going to play that card unless it's absolutely dire. So no, I don't, you know, I'm not into like retrading deals when, you know, the current circumstances. I mean, unless there's, you know, I'd walk away, but I wouldn't be like, it just makes me feel gross. That's it.
And I want to say that there's no right or wrong answer here, because I don't feel gross renegotiating contracts.
I feel really bad for the banks, Matt.
But if you have a property, and
Oh my God, those banks.
let's just say let's be honest, a lot of people are purchasing properties with very, very slim margins. That's not me. Odds are I could probably pay what I offered that person and still be fine. But if I'm being very wary, and that's why I'm disclosing to anyone I'm talking to now, like, this is not going to be a great number for you, just because I am going to be listing this at 10 to 15% of what I think it could sell for, because we don't.
You have no one. You don't have to be sorry to anybody. Yeah. You have the offer. They don't have to take it. Yeah. You know, and if I go back, if there's a contract signed, yeah, I'm not going to, you can't go back. The contract's signed. But if we're in the negotiation table, you should have taken the offer 6 months ago.
Yeah, Marty, that's a great point. What I'm telling, so I have sellers that I've been cultivating the relationship with for months, some of them 6-7 months. So what I'm telling them now is, I can give you this today. I'm not sure if I can give you this a month from now.
And that's fair.
Yep. But
that's fair anytime, no matter what, there's a virus or not. That's fair anytime.
Yeah, it's just communicating those expectations up front. That is what's important. So when you do go back to the table, to someone brings up a deal, that they're not going to be upset that you're nowhere near what your first offer was.
Yeah, because what about the seller who's being greedy, right? Oh, well, I know you got an offer, but I'm still waiting on that guy from New York City. He's got something for me. Sorry.
Yeah. I just had a guy call me the other day. He got scammed from someone in California that said they could pull his property from auction. Unfortunately, they scammed him for a couple $1,000, and his property got auctioned off. So that's it sucks to hear that stuff happening, and that's where we can kind of come in and find those people before those things happen. Any of you guys got any other questions? Because wanted to try to keep this an hour. Any of you guys got any closing statements? We'll kind of wait to see if anyone else have any questions to ask.
I have some comments for you guys, because all five of you're talking about single family houses, right? That market for investors is going to become more and more heavily regulated. So think about commercial multifamily. That's what I'm focusing on. Also vacant properties altogether. So I would definitely, think about, this is the opportunity to swim upstream, because, buying one unit, it's easier to buy a 10 unit deal. It's easier to buy a 10 unit. It's easier to buy a 100 unit deal than a 10 unit deal. So that's definitely what I would be focusing on.
Matt, I'm actually really happy that you brought that up, because that has been a topic of discussion with some pretty large investors across the country, that What's going to happen is when shit hits the fan and people are looking to fire sale properties, a lot of people are going to do stupid shit. And there probably will be a time, it could be 1 year, it could be 5 years, where like there is going to be regulation. So that is being talked about quite frequently. So yeah, that's a great point, Matt. I'm really, really glad you brought that up.
Yeah, well, we'll see, because I was a part of a passive investment on a 50 unit in Syracuse. Let's see how these rents get paid and how that all works out.
You're screwed, man. You're screwed.
Whatever.
All right. Well, thanks. So we're going to button this up. If you need help, Marty, call me. I got an extra bedroom.
I'll bounce back.
I should have 2 extra bedrooms. So yeah, you're more than welcome, man. All right, you guys, this was fun, man. I really, really appreciate your time. I hope all you guys on the call got some added value. And so what I want to do before we get off the phone, yeah, Matt, if I'm sure everyone here is open to helping anyone out. So do you want to share how people can get a hold of you if they want to reach out to you?
Yeah, just reach out through my Facebook or Instagram, probably the best. Chris Flips Rock. Reach out and help any way I can.
Same thing here. I'm pretty active on social media, on Facebook and Instagram. If you're going to direct message me, just direct message me your phone number, okay? And I'll call you, because I cannot stand these questions that I get, which require a novel to be written in order to respond to them. So yeah, just text me, hey, I got a real estate question. Give me your phone number and I'll hop on a call and talk it out with you.
What if they ask you to pick their brain? Can they pick your brain, Matt?
No, they cannot pick my brain.
Matt
I hate that.
Matt hates that. Pick my brain.
That
Marty,
sounds like it hurts.
how can people get a hold of you?
You can, it's 585-402-2985. You can call. I'm on Bigger Pockets. You'll find me. Upstate home buyer.
Harold, share your information about your Instagram, your financial university, things like that. So
Yep. So you can reach us at reach me at Harold Bain, HaroldBain on Facebook, or we also have another page, FIOP, FIOP stands for Financial Intelligence Over Poverty. That's on Facebook, and also FIOP on Instagram.
awesome. Yeah. And if you guys, once we can get back on the open, I'm going to be holding a real estate meetup, a lunch meetup from 12 to 2 at Jeremiah's in Henrietta. I also have a private Facebook group that if anyone on this panel wants to join, but I will be active on there almost daily answering questions. So I am coaching people right now. So you have an opportunity to get 100% of my time in that app daily. So, and I'll also be opening up to do some possible like coaching calls for people looking to get started, just to point you in the right direction. So, yeah, take advantage of everyone in this group. I know everyone here. That's why I have them on the call. Will be willing to lend their time. The only thing that I would say is be very, very respectful of their time. Don't waste it. And, be prepared to ask questions and just don't waste that time you have on that call. So, thanks guys. If you want to do this again, maybe we'll do it again 3 or 4 months from now just to catch up. But I appreciate everyone else who's been on the call. This was first live for me, so I think it went awesome. And I will talk to you guys soon.
See you guys. Take care.
Adios.
Stay hard.
I love it, Marty.